go?
I feel like I'm having my photo taken. That's why I was smiling like an idiot that whole time. We have Czech Premium Pale Lager. Not to be confused with the less premium of the other pale lager varieties.
Which is what in
3B in your programs. 3B.
What makes a Czech Premium Pale? What? All those adjectives in a row.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it that?
So I think they're careful calling it Czech without it being a Pilsner, but it's, a Pilsner.
Okay.
So I think you're expecting higher alcohol. I think that's the difference between the premium and the regular pale lager. Big on malt and hop flavour, clean fermentation. It sits in the mouth for a while. I think compared to other lagers, it's got like a bit of an aftertaste, a bit of a fuller mouthfeel, I would say.
Oh, fair.
Jeez, yeah. I think that's pretty much what it is so far as well.
What are we getting tasting notes wise, mate?
So the first thing that hits me, contrary to what you said, is the hop flavour. So I get like the real strong bitterness coming through straight away. So
it is a bit of beer, yeah.
40 IBU, my favourite parameter that's never correct that I always like to quote. Yeah, like maybe it tastes a little stronger than that. With the malt, I get a little bit of the crystal flavour, but like mostly the white bread, like very soft, fluffy sort of malt flavours I get. But yeah, the hop is like that real classic noble hop. It doesn't have like a dominant fruit flavour. It's very earthy.
No, you're right. On the aroma though, I get lovely malt, like rich malt.
Sorry, so like on the flavour, yeah, I'm getting like more of the maltiness, but as soon as it hits my tongue, that's when I get like the real like hop dominance for me. Which is weird because, like, as I've said before, I think most of the lagers we've done to date have been pretty watery, pretty neutral. Like the flavour hasn't been as strong as it is here. So like we've got the American lager at the moment, and that's just fucking set to 0 or 1 on everything. Whereas this is like, a little bit more full on. And I think by lager standards for what we're doing in this homebrew challenge, that's probably going to be one of the higher end ones. Except like the ridiculous, like the Doppelbox and the other box and all that sort of stuff that we're doing. This is like full on. This is very European.
It's one of my favourite beers you've brewed, and I've mentioned that to you before. Even the colour is brilliant. Like, and do we have a commercial equivalent of this?
So,
like, what would everyone have tried?
Pilsner Urquell, if you've had it, I'd say is like, and I think that's what BJCP says as well as your commercial example. But in terms of like an Australian lager like this, it doesn't really sort of marry up, I don't think.
Is it close to Pilsner Urquell? Like, if people want to go out and have a crack, have you tried it side by side?
Not side by side. I remember we were sinking a few of them on brew day just to celebrate that we were doing a lager, and that was about 3 months ago, maybe 2 months ago now. But haven't done it side by side. But I reckon it would come close. We always have like harshest critics when we do the like side by side comparison because it's really tough to line up with like the originals, things that like the style is based on.
It smells correct to me. That was the first thing that jumped out when you poured this for me was the aroma was everything I expected. And the cleanliness, the bitterness, the full flavour.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm telling you, this is one of the best beers I've had of yours.
It's
and that's
there.
my
like,
style.
Yeah. I guess like we've never really had a crack at it. Like we've never really sort of had an honest crack at a big flavourful lager.
Did you lager this as well?
Yeah. So I think I put it in at the end of November. So what? That's 2.5 months.
Oh, December, January. Oh, yeah. 2.5, yeah. Sorry. What if 4 fucking get 4?
Because you're stupid.
Yeah.
No, this is... I think we've given it, like, we've put the work in, we've given it time, we've tried to do things right by it, and it's come out, pretty well. It's kind of like... and I know a lot of people who are, very much craft beer drinkers, very anti-lager sort of people, probably basing their, lagers on what is like the macro equivalent in Australia. I would love to say this would turn it, but I don't think it will. I think it just offers something different, but probably not in the direction of like what craft beer, the sort of like big bangers in craft beer are at the moment. Like, I think it's good. I think it's a really well made beer, and I think it like would be close to like, some of the great European beers that like this whole style is modelled on. But I don't know. Do you think this would convert someone that sort of?
No, and this is what's weird. I think this is 100% a crafty beer, like for a craft beer drinker, because a non-craft beer drinker isn't going to appreciate the flavours you're getting out of the malts here or the earthy hops. They're going to want tropical citrus.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Juice.
Like,
yeah,
I won't name and shame them, but I'm thinking of the people who are into their Australian-made craft beer at the moment, and I don't think this would win them over as much as I would love it. I love them to. I doubt it's going to incite this, buying singles of European lagers one by one at 10 Murphys or whatever to
it just. But once they get further into craft beer, this will be for them.
Like, Luke has had a try at this, and he loses his privilege now because I lager all the beer here, and I kind of get to sneak a taste every now and then. So I think he might have had like a little taste, but I know he would love this as well. And he's probably not like a die-hard crafty as well, I would say, but
he's not on Adelaide Beer Drinkers. Let's put it that way.
He's not. No. He's barely on Facebook.
Yeah, that's not for them. Like they wouldn't be stoked if this came out as a new release. Is that what you mean?
Kind of. Yeah. It's it's a strange sort of territory because at the same time, I don't think this is going to win over the BV West End crowd either. This is for a craft beer lover. Yeah.
It's almost, and it's weird to say for such a dialed back, easy drinking beer that it doesn't really sit. You have to really be a craft beer lover or a beer lover.
Yeah.
To want it.
Sits in a real funny spot, I feel. So, not that I'm trying to fucking offload it to anyone or try to sell it or anything. It's trying to get people into it, but I'm just thinking of what other people might think when they.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. What was in the recipe?
So mostly Pilsner malt, had a little bit of Carapils, a little bit of Munich, and I reckon that was just about it. Hop bill was a combo of Saaz and Tettnang, I reckon, and this was just dry yeast M84, the Bohemian Lager. So that's actually a bit of a different one as well, because normally a beer like this we probably would have gone out and found like the boutique liquid yeast and made the starter and gone all out, but I think we just chucked a heap of the dry yeast in there and
it doesn't need it, man.
You've done
well with
it's
this.
come out pretty well, hasn't it? Yeah, so this is, as I said before, 40 IBU, 5.3% alcohol, very pale, like it's a 4 SRM, so there's probably, not much wiggle room to get it any lighter, but as you said before, I love this beer. I can tell you love it as well. This has probably been one of the better ones that we've done. It's also one that, like, as part of this homebrew challenge, you have your 40 beers that you get to do, and as soon as you do a good one, you're like, oh fuck, I want to do that one again because like you knew how good it was. Then you're like, oh, I've got to go make.
I want to steal this recipe.
Barley wine now.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, it's such a simple recipe as well. It's one of those strange ones, and like similar to like the sour beers we were talking before. It's kind of like if you have your process right, you give it time. Chances are it's probably going to come out pretty good for you.
Yeah.
So if you've got a temp controlled fridge and you're able to do lagers and you're able to control your temperatures better, I would, advocate that this is the product you're going to get out of it, which is, pretty darn good.
What is this homebrew challenge that we're doing?
So this was
which has already been done apparently. So ours is maybe we'll call it the BJCP.
Ours is better though because we do some of the historical ones that the other people don't want to touch.
Yeah.
It's been about a year through now, I reckon, since we've done our inaugural draft, and we were trying to cover every style from the BJCP catalogue. Yeah. So, ended up being 40 beers per person that we've allocated a couple of years of our life to, and. Yeah, honestly, I can't even remember if this is mine or if this is Luke's. Like, because we brew together and we do everything together, it's kind of like, we like brew 2 batches on one day and, one from each. And it was that long ago, I can't even remember if I want to say it's Luke's, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I'm sharing 80 beers with Luke, and we're kind of just picking each other up. So
yeah,
but it's a great idea. It's a good chance to do things that you've either never heard of before. You thought, I'm never going to make that because, I'm not interested in it. But, it sparked my interest in a few beers and also given me confidence that I can make good beers because I was living on this the whole time I was in Europe. I'm like, oh, these Europeans have been doing it for centuries. Like, how am I going to hold a flame to it? But, it's made me realise that I can do it, which is pretty cool.
Brilliant, dude. Fucking more of this, mate, from you.
Be rude if I didn't have it finished at the end of the video.
Yeah.
Can you edit it so it is?
Yeah, knock it back.
Beer.